Welcome back to Talk of the Town on WHTC, Holland's Cool FM, on WHTC.com, and on the WHTC app for your smartphone. Once again, here's your host, Gary Stevens.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town for this Tuesday, August 11th. Once a quarter, we catch up with things going on with Community Action of Allegan County, America's Poverty Fighting Network. And to join us, as she does on a quarterly basis, the Executive Director of Community Action, Lisa Evans, on the other side of our table this morning. Lisa, good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning, Gary. Good to be with you.
And we have a guest with her as well, the Community Action's Director of Early Education Services, Sarah C. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
And if you have a question about not only Community Action, but some of the things that we'll be discussing, they'll be happy to answer it at 616-395-1450. Primer question, either one of you. What exactly is Community Action of Allegan County?
What is Community Action? Well, Community Action is a 66-year now going on nonprofit organization that was founded by Lyndon Baines Johnson to address poverty and economic opportunity and raise people up and provide them wraparound services and resources. And our flagship program that sort of aligned and began right alongside Community Action is Head Start, which is why I have the lovely Sarah C. with me this morning, because we're getting ready to launch into a new school year. First day of school is August 31st.
That's right.
For some districts, others, they get started on the 27th.
Well, not Head Start.
Okay.
So, Head Start's been around. Community Action is proud to have been serving Allegan County, as I say, for 66 years now, with our flagship program, Head Start, and a whole host of other wraparound services and supports for families. Everything, we kind of say we work from birth to the grave, if you will, because we do services for pregnant mothers, and then all the way to older adult services in partnership with the county and AAA of West Michigan. So we have many partners. We don't certainly do it alone, but we're good to be here with you this morning and talk about some exciting things that are happening.
And while one would say, well, Lisa Evans' title is pretty self-explanatory, Executive Director, Operational Leader. As for Director of Early Education Services, Sarah C., exactly what are your responsibilities with Community Action?
As the Director for Early Education Services, I oversee the operational components of the Head Start and Early Head Start programs and all of the team that supports those programs. Head Start and Early Head Start are a birth to 5 comprehensive early education program offering services to infants, toddlers, 2-year-olds, and 3 through 5-year-olds, as well as prenatal services for pregnant moms. And we focus on certainly the school readiness and next step for those littlest learners, but we also wrap around families and partner with them from day one. So our program is really well known for partnering with families in health opportunities to help their children become the healthiest children they can. So we might be working with them on screeners and then follow up on any need that they might have. We wrap around them in goal setting for both school and home. And we use a lot of ongoing monitoring with collection of data that allows us to implement continuous improvement.
Now, let me bring this point up, and hopefully I'll bring the point up, and then you can amplify or correct me, whatever. How much of what you do, and I say you as a group, do, involves not just the beginning part, I mean, as you say, from cradle moving forward. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking more of those that maybe when the kids were born, things were going great. But now things aren't going so great, and they need the help. Talk a little bit about picking up the ball and helping them when maybe the bottom fell out of their lives.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I'll start there. One of the things that we like to say at Community Action is there's no wrong door. So no matter where you are in your life journey, if you hit a bump in the road, you can come to Community Action, and vis-a-vis our connections and community collaborations and our knowledge, which is very deep and broad, of referrals and assistance in the community, we can sit down with you, our case management staff, and just have a conversation about what is real in your life and where you are and what you need.
I'm thinking more along the lines of not just a bump. How about a sinkhole?
Yeah.
Not just
Sinkholes.
not even a pothole, a sinkhole.
Yeah, they happen. This is the beauty of Community Action and the beauty of all of us as community sort of leaning into the fabric of the social safety net. Like Community Action, we're a nonprofit. We're significantly federally funded. But there are other partners that come alongside us. So if there's something that we cannot help with, say, for example, you have hit a huge sinkhole, right? Maybe you're unemployed and you're having challenge finding a job, or you're looking to retrain yourself. Well, we have partnerships with Michigan Works. We have partnerships and collaborations with adult education, and we can try and help people find a path to economic stability. If you're in crisis, I mean, we just finished, so this is a really good story to tell, and I love to tell it. So we had 2 board members not so long ago. They were Board of Commissioners members, the late Dean Kapinga and Mr. Jim Story. And during COVID, the county received a whole host of ARPA funding, and they had some additional funding there. And of course, we were in the middle of COVID, washing your hands, being able to have clean water and access to clean water. I mean, to not have that is like living in a third world country, right? But if you, back to your point about you're in a sinkhole, what about a real sinkhole, which is you can't even attend your septic and your well system? And we brought and elevated that concern to the commission and to the county, and the county was willing to partner with us, and they gave us a little over $500,000 to support people in making sure they had access to clean water, to bathing and doing the dishes and some of the things that we just take for granted, right? So, like, what is a sinkhole? What is it? Is it that you don't have running water in your home? Is it that you don't have a job? Is it that you can't find resources, or you don't have resources for access to health and wellness for your child? Head Start, right, is a program that is income eligible. The most vulnerable, the most at-risk children that we have in our community, most at-risk families who are living at 100% of poverty. 100% of poverty for a family of 4 is $33,000 a year. Imagine, talk about a sinkhole, you're working, and the majority of our families are working, but they can't climb out of, quote unquote, the sinkhole, right? So where do they go for early education and parenting and wellness and support? Where do they go for access to healthcare, vision screens, and dental? Some of the children that we see have never seen a dentist or never had their eyes checked. I mean, these are sinkholes that will challenge a child for the rest of their life if we don't address these things early and prepare them for school. And not only that preparation, but wrapping our arms again around the entire family to sit down with parents, because it isn't just about the children. Like, that's why Head Start is our flagship program, and I'm going to let Sarah talk about it in a minute. That's why it is there, to do what we can for the little humans, right? To make sure that they are prepared cognitively in language and literacy and math, and they have physical mobility issues and whatnot, to be prepared for kindergarten, for us to hand them off to the public school system. But if we're lucky enough to take that journey with the family, from the time that child is born until they are 5 years old, we can help that family establish goals for themselves, achieve those goals. It can be home ownership. It could be getting a GED. It can be whatever will address the inability to climb out of the sinkhole, right? So, and that's a privilege to walk alongside those families. life is not a straight line. As you so eloquently asked the question, what if the bottom drops out? At any time that the bottom drops out for you and your family, you should call Community Action. You should reach out. You should see what we can do to immediately assist you with whatever your crisis could be, whether it's food insecurity or utilities payment,
housing
insecurity. We can either help you or we can refer you and do a soft handoff for you to someone we know who can help you. That is, again, sort of the beauty of what we do and the partnerships that we have in community and the amazing work that Sarah and her staff do, not only in home visiting, which is a component, not only in early Head Start, which is center-based education, and in Head Start, partnerships and collaborations inside the school districts.
We have had people who have joined us on Talk of the Town talk about the fact that at times they've had to help students who are homeless. They're living in a vehicle. When we talk about the homeless, we think of the tents or we think of the single adults, sleeping under a viaduct or having the little sign and all that. But a lot of times families are raising a family in an SUV, and they're trying to address their needs. And they're a little scared because they've reached out trying to get help, and they've been slapped back or they've been abused. Maybe they're in that situation because of a marital split and all that. That's where the safety net does come in, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It really does. Homelessness is one of our criteria factors, which allow for families who indicate they're experiencing current homelessness to immediately be eligible in our program. So those children will have a place to go. Those children will get served Monday through Friday in any capacity through those on-site services we provide them. They will have that continuity of care wrapped around them, and we will develop a strength-based relationship with those families to help them see where they are being successful and the fact that they are there for their kids, and we'll connect them to the resources in the community and, if needed, the surrounding communities that might be able to help them in their next step.
Along those lines, how much is the wrong phrase, is what Community Action does, it has to rely on people reaching out to them, or does the agency have a relationship with the districts where a teacher or a principal might reach out and say, "Hey, I got a couple of kids here. They don't have a place to stay, or they're coming in and they're looking a little ratty, and I don't know whether or not they have the proper home situation." Does that Community Action then spring into action if the districts come out and says we have these people that might need your help?
I believe that Community Action of Allegan County is successful because of our partnerships within the communities. So we work in tandem with local districts. We also work very closely with community partners through ongoing community committees to find out what resources are available for us, where can we go, where can we refer families to. But if someone reaches out to us, they can be assured that we're going to follow up on that concern, and we'll wrap around that family in whatever way that we can.
Yeah, I think you see where I'm going at, because sometimes it's easy to say, well, they have to reach out to Community Action, but sometimes districts have to carry the ball on that as well, Lisa.
So we have a fairly new board member, the mayor of Fenville. Carlos Lopez is now on our board. Mm-hmm. And Carlos is very active. He's out there all the time, right, with the people. And I had breakfast with him last week, and we were talking about this very thing. Community action, there's two words there. One is community, right, which we say often and always. You don't move the needle on poverty. You don't lift families up and change circumstances by yourself. in a vacuum. It has to be a community effort, and you have to be out there talking about it, convening conversations about the needs of the most significant needs of people in the community. But you also have to take action, which means you can't sit on your laurels and just wait for people to sort of come to you, right? So you have to be out at every, I don't know, how many festivals and events have we been to or at this summer, right? Like, we're here, we're trying to get the word out. Social media is a great avenue for that. We encourage people to follow us, to share the information that we provide, because, of course, that gets out there very fast, goes viral, if you will, whatnot. But I just will underscore, and I appreciate your pointing that out, because it is true. You can say, well, people should call. But know that we are actively out there having the conversations, trying to be present in community, and let people know what the resources are that are available to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's an opportune time to have Lisa Evans join us, along with Sarah C. from the Community Action House, to talk a little bit about Head Start and dealing with the youth in Allegan County especially. If you have a question for them, 616-395-1450. The reason why I mention this, we subscribe, WHTC is a subscriber of the MERS news service out of Lansing. Thank you very much, Fearless Leader. This past Friday, in its capital capsule, I will read the headline, and then I want to get your thoughts. Federal officials are proposing eliminating much of the existing Head Start performance standards and relying more heavily on state requirements for staffing, health screenings, and other program rules. The proposed changes have Michigan early childhood groups concerned over potential weakened services for low-income children and families. I'm going to throw the ball at you and get your thoughts on some of these proposed changes, perhaps coming out of Washington, dealing with Head Start.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the question. You threw the ball, so I'm going to take a swing. Here is what I will say, and then I'll let Sarah speak a little bit to it. We can, in this tumultuous time that we're in, we can and we should disagree and converse respectfully about the size of government, maybe, how intrusive government is, how our dollars are spent, and the role that government should play, right? We should have that conversation. But what we should not do is overlook the importance of equity and resources to children and families who are living at the most high risk in the most vulnerable circumstances in our country and in our communities and in our county. Head Start was launched to give those children, access and equity and education that they would not otherwise receive. And it is important, as you say, to note that this is a notice of proposed rulemaking. This is a proposal. It has 60 days of public comment and engagement on downstream impacts. You know, we live in a time right now when people like to say, oh, yes, government is invasive and we should cut government. And, if we streamline things, cut, slash, deregulate, that will just provide all sorts of wonderful things. But there are reasons sometimes, like you can cut things to the bone, Gary, but there are reasons sometimes why things exist the way they do. It's because 60 years of education and science and monitoring tells us that these are the safest ways to do the work. These are the things that ensure quality programming. So I welcome the discourse, I think it's important, as I said at the outset, for us to always be having civil discourse about the role and size of government and how tax dollars are spent. But it is Head Start's position, it is Community Action's position. We can do all that, and we should, But we should not ever forego quality of service, the integrity of the program, and the wellness and downstream impacts of kids.
I think that it's important to really emphasize everything you just said, Lisa, in that having the conversation and considering change and implementing change has always happened since the inception of Head Start over 60 years ago. This is not the first time regulations are being considered to change, but it is the first time of the level of significance. So what we need to make sure is that high quality top benchmark of early childhood programming that has been offered and been the premier standard across the nation. These regulations have allowed for that benchmark to be consistent from state to state. We have to make sure that if there is a change that's enforced, a lessened regulation doesn't lessen quality. And we already have and have had the opportunity to utilize these benchmarks, these regulations that they are proposing to change, and we can individualize that for our local communities based on every local community throughout the nation. Having the local control, if you will, is what sets us apart. We're all working towards the benchmarks in our own individual way. And being able to provide those 60 days of comment periods and letting the public provide feedback is so important because it is the local communities that would notice that impact. But we at Community Action of Allegan County will do everything that we can to maintain the highest thresholds of quality. We are open. We are preparing to operate. We just closed for our program year. We are reopening Monday, August 31st in birth to 5 programming, both home-based and center-based. We're providing services to pregnant moms, and we're here to stay. So while it is fearful of upcoming changes, we need and want to make sure the community knows we're here for them, and we will continue to do so in every capacity possible.
And we'll advocate to maintain the gold standard in early education. I mean, Community Action's Head Start program, Head Start nationally, it is, not to be understated, the gold standard for early education. And this is why, when the state of Michigan rolls out a Child Care for All initiative, Head Start is at the table because child care entities are looking to sort of level up their services and what they can do to be more reflective of the kind of services we provide.
If you need more information or you need help from Community Action of Allegan County, the number to call is 269-673-5472. 269-673-5472. Or go online, communityactionallegan.org. That is communityactionallegan.org. Sarah C., Lisa Evans from Community Action of Allegan County. Ladies, thank you very much for joining us today. We're out of time on the segment, but we appreciate you telling us a little bit about Head Start and early Head Start. Look forward to seeing you again, Sarah. Look forward to talking with you again, Lisa.
Thank you, Gary.
You've been listening to Talk of the Town on WHTC, Holland's Cool FM, on WHTC.com, and on the WHTC app for your smartphone.
I hit the wrong button again. Thank you very much for joining us today. Executive Director Michelle Stempian from the Holland Museum, along with Lisa Evans and Sarah C. from the Community Action of Allegan County. Those segments have been or will be uploaded to our webpage at WHTC.com. We'll also want to thank Brian Spencer, What's New Around Holland. Thanks to all of you for listening and being a part of our program today. We'll talk about those hot dogs tomorrow, where you can get a good one in the city of Holland. Following NBC News with Michael Kastner, it'll be Lindsay Lawrence's Evergreen Commons Report. Tomorrow on WHTC's Talk of the Town, James Speed of Community Action House and Ottawa County Sheriff Sergeant Chris Ruhr. For Brian Spencer, I'm Gary Stevens. Thanks for listening to Talk of the Town. Have a good day, and if all goes well, hey, let's do this all again tomorrow.